Hi Floss Tube, it's Karen, recovering monogamous stitcher. This is a totally experimental video. I have been asked by a subscriber if I would show how I prepare my needlework pieces to take to the framer. And I've also been asked by someone in my stitch group if I would demonstrate how I pin and lace my pieces. I have two pieces here today that I'm going to be working on, so I'm just experimenting, turning on the video, and seeing if I can clearly demonstrate. So you won't see my face, you can see my hands, and I'm going to try to keep in the camera view, which is a bit of a stretch away from me, but this is how it goes. So if you've watched my videos, you know that I do not press my pieces while I'm working on them. I don't press them until I have finished stitching them. And then I put them face down on a fluffy white towel. This towel is reserved only for my needlework. Only. So once in a while there's a little thread on it, but it's never been touched by most people's hands. I put my work face down on it. And I do not iron like this. I press and press and press. Now, as you know, if you watch my videos, most of the time I'm stitching with DMC thread. So I'm not afraid to do a light little spritz of either from my ironing my spray water bottle or best press. However, I'm very careful if I'm using any overdyes or any silk. And what I try to do is if there's a spot in the linen that's maybe got a little fussy little wrinkle in it, I take my finger and dab it in water and just gently put it where it specifically needs to be, not on the threads. So that's how I press my work. And once I've pressed my work, I do not want to fold it again at all. So I put it in a project roll. Now I have made 3 of these. I have 3 different sizes. The 2 pieces I'm working on today fit in this medium-sized project roll. So here are the pieces that I'm getting ready for framing. This is Little Red Chair Sampler by Scarlet House. And this one is Octopus's Garden from Blackbird Designs. This one I'm going to size down. You can see I have quite a bit of fabric over here. And when I'm doing my finishing, I don't want to deal with all that bulk on the back. So I will be trimming it down. I always leave at least 3 inches. I might leave a little more, but that's just way too much to deal with, especially in the corners. So I'm going to trim this one down before I actually do it. And I'm going to do the demonstration today with Octopus's Garden. Okay, let me move a couple of these things out of the way now. Okay, so I've pressed my piece, I've taken it to my framer, and I want it to be pressed so that she doesn't have any wrinkles to deal with when she measures. She's measuring accurately. And my framer knows how I like it. I like no more than ½ an inch of a border showing around, and she does an excellent job, so I'm never concerned about that. So I take it to her place, she measures it, she orders the frame, then she cuts my acid-free foam core, and I then leave with my foam core. I think I paid $2 for each of these 2. The most I've ever paid for the pre-cut foam core, I think, was $4 for a really big one. It was Maria Vincenza Laricchia. So it's very, very reasonable, and it's cut specifically to the frame that the piece is going to go in, so it's a great deal. Now, before I put my piece on, I put a layer of batting on the foam core. I've pre-done that now for my Little Red Chair Sampler. And I put my foam core down on my batting, take my rotary cutter and just cut around it. Then I use glue stick, and I'll show you how I do that. It's not a fussy job or anything particularly critical, but I just don't want it to scoot. I want to make sure the corners and edges are going to hold. And I don't want any floppiness in the center. Of course, I will take care of that when and I'm at the end of this glue stick. Well, that'll be enough anyway. So that one goes in the trash. Okay, then I take my foam core piece and put it upside down on my batting. Glue side down to the batting. And press. Flip it over, and here I can play with it a little bit. You can see it did not quite go to the edge of the foam core, and I want it to be all the way to the edge because that gives me a little play when I'm lacing that I can scooch my work and it doesn't, I don't know, it seems like it gets caught on the edge or something. So, okay, this one's ready to go. So this is going to be for Octopus's Garden. First, I'm just doing a general eyeball. Now here are the supplies I use. Clips. I have pins. I also have this acid-free tape, which I have used in the past. I've kind of moved away from that now, and I depend on my lacing. For lacing, I buy extra heavy duty, I think it's called extra, yes, extra strong upholstery thread. I just get neutral color. The color doesn't really matter. It's not going to show, but I just go with neutral colors, so I have that. And I have forgotten my needle. A little critical there. Hang on. Sorry. Jesus Christ. What am I doing here? This is not the needle I want, but this is the one I've got. So here I am. Okay. My first choice in needle doing pinning and lacing is a ballpoint needle. It just keeps me from stabbing myself so much. But if I don't have any, they're all in my work, it doesn't matter. I'll use a tapestry needle. Now, because I didn't bring my needle over here, I'm just using a sharp needle. So I'll probably pin myself and scratch myself. Now, when I first started doing pinning and lacing, I used to leave my pins in, do my pinning all the way around, get it the way it made me happy, and then I left them in and laced, and the pins went into the frame along with the piece. And then I started to think, now why did I do that? Once I've laced it, the pins are redundant. So now I've started taking my pins out so I don't just have to go out and buy more pins. I buy Dritz pins. I always make sure they're stainless steel. So if you're pinning only and you're going to leave the pins in, you absolutely want them to be stainless. I just reuse them. I've several sizes. I don't know why. They're just, that's the way I bought them. These are really short ones. I think they're called applique pins or sequin pins. But they're all stainless steel pins. Okay. Now the first thing I'm going to do is kind of eyeball it. Thinking that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to do a little measure here. Okay. That side. Okay, now I'm going to go to the opposite side. See how that looks. That's good. Okay. And that was in the middle. So I'm going to stick a pin. I don't want the short in the center of each of these sides. This is the one I measured right here. And these pins will come out and be moved around because nothing is perfect the first time you do it. I'm sticking it into the foam. Okay, I'm going to check my sides. Well, that's shorter than the other was. And that's longer. Okay, see, so now it has to move over. So I'm going to take these out. It has to scooch over a couple squares. Oops. Oh, now it's too long the other way. Maybe that one looks good. And I also want to make sure that it's not because of extra fabric on the top that it's not measuring right. So I smooth it out. Whoops. That's still a bit. I'm going to move it back one square. That's good. Now, is this one still good? No. Okay. Now, I don't consider myself to be an expert in this. I do it because I feel guilty if I'm paying someone to do something that I can do myself, whereas the actual framing I can't do. I'm not like Kim, contented needleworker, who has the, you know, the right saw and she knows what she's doing and she measures and she saws, and I would cut my hand off probably. So I do the part that I can do. I've never asked my framer how much it would cost for her to do this for me, but you may want to ask. Maybe you'd find it worth it to pay somebody to do it for you. Now let me see if I've got this back where I want it. And I'm not putting myself out as an expert on this at all. I'm not an expert. I'm just showing you this is how I do it. And I make it work for me. And this is fussy, and it takes some time. Just be prepared. It's going to take you some time. I might spend an hour on a piece. So be prepared to fast forward this when I get, especially to the lacing on the back. Okay, now let's check this again. That's good. That's good. Okay, that's puffing out. Not because it's not at the edge, but because I don't have it pinned tight. Okay. Now, if you want to see how experts do this, you should check out Nicola Parkman's video that she has done on this. Vonna Pfeiffer has a video on lacing. Cathy Habermann has a video. Theresa Vanette, Kitten Stitcher, has a video. I've watched all of those, and they have helped me see how to do it, but I am clunky and fumbly, and I always feel like I need 3 hands. Unfortunately, I don't have 3 hands, so it's a little clumsy, but I make it work. And if the finished project is slightly crooked, I have only myself to blame because the framer did everything she could do. So this is going to be good, I think. I'm going to measure again when I get a few more pins in. And you see I'm leaving them sticking out at this point because I'll be taking them out several times, I know. So I don't put them all the way in. Now when I start lacing, I do shove them all the way in because otherwise they're just constantly catching the thread. And I get very frustrated with that. So, okay, now let me check some. That's good. That's good. That's good. This is a little, okay. Maybe I can just snug it from here. I hope I'm still in camera. And I do not want to bend my board, of course, but I want it to be snug. I don't want any loose floppiness of fabric on the top when it's framed. I don't put glass on mine, so that would certainly show if there was looseness in the fabric. So I'm snug, but I don't over tighten. Now let me check that again. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, that looks good. Okay, I'm thinking I can. And there may be a logic to doing the long side first. I don't know if there is, but that's just kind of how I do it. I tend to want to do, well, actually that's not true. It's top bottom is what I do first, and I don't know why. So if there's a good reason to do it another way, do it another way. Yeah, okay. Am I still in camera? I hope. good, good, good. Okay, I'm thinking that is good. I'm going to work the sides now. Is that the same? That's, I can feel that edge right there. Yes, okay. Okay, so I'm going to try to follow along this, and Ada is a little easier to count because, I mean, you can kind of follow that edge easier than with linen. It's hard. Now on linen, it's helpful to run a line of thread, like colored sewing thread, to the line where you want it to line up with, so you can follow it more easily than trying to count the linen thread or see the linen threads. Let's see here. There we go. And I'm going to get this pretty well pinned before I flip it and start lacing it. When I lace it, I will then, of course, do another check, make sure I've stayed where I want to be. Okay, I want to get it pretty close to the corner, so my corner isn't going to shift. And I can see those lines on the Ada. By the way, if you're not, or if you're thinking you would like to have a project roll, Vonna Pfeiffer has a tutorial on how she makes project rolls. She uses a mailing tube for her base around which she rolls her projects. I used pool noodle. Now there are some skinnier pool noodles than others, and I have a relatively fat pool noodle. And I like that because it doesn't wind my fabric so tight. But watch Vonna's tutorial, definitely. And I also watched Lisa Bonjean had one out on Project Roll. And I watched that too. And then did my own thing. Okay, I'll get this corner. Okay, I think this, and this is a small piece, so this, you know, it isn't taking as long as a large linen sampler, and so I need another pin there. So this be relatively fast. Okay, so I'm pinned, I'm ready to flip it and start my lacing. So I take my thread, and you want a really long piece on this, and you'll be amazed at how fast you run out, even though you've started with a really long piece, and you'll have to do a knot and add more, and I go as long as I can. I can reach my scissors right here. Okay. All right, now I am going to do a really big fat knot. As I say, this isn't really the needle I wanted to use, but it's the one I'm going to use. Now, I do a quilter's knot. So, I hold it across my needle with my thumb, and I wrap, and I'm gonna wrap it like, I would normally do 2 or 3 times, but for this, I'm gonna do like 6 or 7 times. I want a big fat knot. Now I'm pinching it between my forefinger and my thumb, and I'm going to pull it down the length of the thread, but I stick a finger, like a pinky, in there so that it doesn't knot up on itself and the loop stays open. So I'm pulling it through, pulling it through, pulling it through, and there's the knot. A pretty big knot. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to start on one side or the other, doesn't matter, except I'm going to do my long side first, so I'm going this way. I'm going to take a, like close to the edge here, I'm going to, and you can be in quite far if you're afraid it's going to come out. I'm not afraid this will come out, but okay, I take a little bite at this point, pull through my knot, and I take another bite because I do not want that knot to, for some reason, pull through, because I'm going to be pulling this snug and pulling it snug and pulling it snug, and I want it to stay. Come across the other side. Now I have selvage here. I'm not going to needle through the selvage, but it doesn't hurt to have the selvage there. It's fine. I'm going to take a bigger bite, maybe ½ an inch or so. Pull it snug. Come back to the other side. Take another bite. I'm trying to keep them kind of even from the edge of the fabric here. Like I say, thread's gonna catch on those pins. But if I can get away without pushing them in, I will try. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to continue this back and forth until I get to the other side. So if you want to speed up the video, go ahead. Until I get to the corner, I won't have more to say. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I'm going to push those in. This is just going to be an exercise in frustration otherwise, of course. Okay. Don't need my hammer here. When I used to do just pinning, I used a hammer. I have a small hammer, but I would pound those in. Oops, that came through. I don't want that. Let me pull that out, straighten it. At least if I make them shorter, they won't, ouch, again. If I make them shorter, they won't catch as badly. Put this one back. Go straight, okay. Okay, maybe I've taken care of that. Oops, okay. Okay, I'm running out of thread. Like I say, you'd be surprised how much thread this takes. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do some more. Where'd it go? Okay. So, it took a little kamikaze dive. Oops. Now, I'm not an expert in how to do a connecting knot here, but I just do the best I can. I wrap it through twice. Both of those tails through twice. Someone told me once that's called a surgeon's knot. I never heard a surgeon say that, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I'd wrap it twice and get that tail in there. Come on. That one came out again. Okay. I have to find my thread. Okay. catch on. What caught on? Now what I catch on? Okay, I'm going to snug these up. I have no fingernails. It would help if I had fingernails. Now I gotta pop that through. Oh shoot. Where's my needle? Okay, make that hole bigger. Pop that knot. Come on. Pop through there. Yep. Great. I have to pop it through another time. There, okay. Okay. Yep, still catching on the nail pins. Okay, I'm at my first corner, so I'm going to snug it up again and recheck the front before I do anything permanent at the corner. Okay, oh, I'm gonna have my needle sticking to my arm. Okay, take a look. Take a look. Okay, it's not, you can see that it's staying straight. It's not pulled so tight that it's, you know, being distorted at the edge, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same thing I did when I started here, and this is different from the other people I've seen do this, but I have so much trouble if I don't do this that I find it helpful. So this is what I do. That's all I'm saying. This is what I do. I'm going to do that again. So that's not going to come loose. Oh, get caught, get caught. Okay, now I'm going to pull this in like I'm wrapping a package. That's how Vonna describes it too. See, just like when you're wrapping a Christmas package, pull it in a bit. You don't want to make a lump there. Pull it down like that. And this is where I use my clips. And then I can secure that. I'll get my thread out of there in a minute, but I want to get both of these clipped. Okay, clip this corner. Oops. I'm going to get my thread out of there. Hang on a second. I'm going to now come and secure this corner. Just going to come out, oh, don't get caught on that. Just taking little, well, not necessarily a little, but just snagging that edge. So it's going to lay down flat, not make a lump. Take that off. Okay. And now, go to the other direction. And now I can take these pins out because they're not doing anything for me. Okay, I'm coming to the other end, so I'm ready to do another corner. Again, like it's a package. Pull it up. Make sure you haven't made a lump here in the corner. Clip it, and I'm going to do this one too. So it's all set to go. Nice and flat, another clip. Okay, my corners are clipped. If I can pick this up, okay. Now I'm going to come to this end, take a securing knot, or not a securing stitch, so I'll do a couple again like I did before. And at this point, this piece is not going to move. So if I've made a mistake, I would have to undo it. But I checked. I stayed where I needed to stay. I'm not distorted along the edge, so I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to, at this point, secure this end. This time I'm going top down. Oh, come on. There. It's not wanting to get through that. Okay, I can undo that. I'll just take a couple in here. Okay, I want to make sure I've not made a lump here. Scoot it through here. Scoot it back. Just come out here. Okay, now I'm going to continue on doing taking my bites. Scoop, scoop. See, this is why I feel like I need 3 hands. I could hold the piece and I have 2 hands to deal with the needle and thread, but no, I don't have 3 hands. take those pins out yet because they're doing a job for me. So let me push it in a little bit. That one's going to go popping out. Oh, for heaven's sakes, catch on everything. I'm going to have to add some more thread here in a bit. And I'll tighten it up. Check to make sure I'm not distorting anything. Okay, let me tighten this up. Okay. Now, see, I have to let go again to do this. Yes, here I fumble. I need a bigger loop and shorter tails. There we go. Oh. See, again, I need 3 hands. 3 hands. 3 hands would help. Got it. Okay. Now, snug that up again. And thread the needle. Okay. Getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. We're getting there, we're getting there. 2 more corners. Ah. Yes, yes. I bet I'm going to have to add thread again. Probably will, probably will. Okay. I'm going to scoop it down here again and do this corner. Oops, don't get caught in there. Do this corner, end it, and then I'll still finish that corner, and I think it'll be tight enough. I don't think I have to add more thread to do another loop. I think it's secure enough. Come on. Get through there. Make sure I'm not making a lump now. Like I say, I prefer a tapestry needle to do this, but because I forgot to grab my needle, this is a regular sewing needle. lasso knot. And I don't want to trim it too close to the knot because then sometimes the knot comes undone, so I feed the tail back through, pull it up, and then trim my thread right there. Okay, so now I have one more corner to stitch down. I'm going to take these pins out. And that's it. I don't think you need to watch me do the fourth corner. And I'm going to finish that off with a knot just like I did on the other corner. I'm going to leave my clip there though, and not take it off till I've sewn that down. So there we are, Octopus's Garden, laced, ready to go back to the framer. And then I will do my other one, the Little Red Chair Sampler, which is linen. It's a little trickier to work with, only because it's not as easy quite to follow a line. And like I said, you can take a color thread, a regular sewing thread, and run it where you want your edge to be, and you can always see then, you know, am I right where I need to be, and then did I distort it? So this is my quick little, this is how I do it, getting my needlework ready for the framer. I hope you found this useful. I would be very happy if you would like and subscribe. I'm Recovering Monogamous Stitcher on YouTube and on Instagram, and it was great to have you with me today. Thanks. Bye-bye.